If unlicensed third-party 2D artwork is acceptable, why not the 3D versions, which is figures? Hi and welcome back to the channel, Steven right here. Today we have some sort of a figure news as well, but this is not your typical figure pre-order news, but more to something spicy going on in myfigurecollection.net. And I think this is a topic I would love to talk to you guys about and discuss about it as well. So you see, in the recent few years, myfigurecollection.net, they have been really slow in reacting to changes in the anime figure market. They are still very traditional, right? So for many years, they have never allowed any Chinese figure brands to be added to their database, even if they are genuine figures. But finally, in the past year or so, good things are starting to happen, and finally we have Apex Toys, Mietos, and so on, your figures being listed in their website already in the database. We finally have Genshin stuff in myfigurecollection.net, finally. And then now, after taking a step forward, they have taken another step backwards with their latest announcement over here. So on the homepage, you can see this important announcement which came out a week ago on 11th of November. I would love to discuss about this a lot sooner, but really my schedule is so packed. Last week, I had to get Marin Kitagawa review out and I need to talk about one hobby gallery, right? So for today, after Figure News Fix on Sunday, we shall take a look at this important announcement on unlicensed merchandise and related topics update, right? And this is where things get a bit spicy. The most important part is the very first part, unlicensed figures part. Okay, with the introduction of a bunch of non-Japanese manufacturers, we have been witness to the introduction of a multitude of positively astoundingly beautiful items to the database. Nonetheless, this also brings us face to face with some of the more morally ambiguous facets of this industry, which is why we had to take another look at some things that will turn into an issue. Okay, let's jump to this unlicensed figures section. Okay, unlicensed figures have never been accepted as database contributions. This won't change. However, our rules also forbid promotion and sales of said figures, which unfortunately has also been messy to interpret. At least if one wanted to consider what advocates wish for. So there is a wrong interpretation which they have to fix. Discussion of said figures will still be allowed, but limited to private clubs. So they will open a new club for you guys. This means that articles on them will no longer be allowed. Discussion of said figures will still be allowed, but limited to private clubs only. This means that articles on them will no longer be allowed. Existing ones will be removed or moved to said clubs in case their respective original posters is not around. This is the biggest problem I'm seeing out of this entire article over here, right? But we'll get to that in a bit. To continue things off, staff will provide one general club for unlicensed figures here, and any clubs that wish to deal with the subject matter will have to set themselves to private. In addition, having a staff member in a moderator position will be required, and if you would like to create a new club for unlicensed figures, please reach out to the staff first and be aware of the sales of such items are still forbidden. And then, this is where things get worse. Pictures of said figures will still be allowed within bootleg category. But all mentions of stores and manufacturers in the picture description, comments, and within the picture itself are expressly forbidden. This means that watermarks and text pertaining to the manufacturer store within the picture must be removed. Said pictures may still be used on profile pages, however, as long no studios are named and as long the picture is safe for work. And they're giving you guys a grace period of 1 month to edit articles or move things around and so on. So the rest are not as important. Lastly, the change does not concern bootlegs. Okay, so this first part is the biggest problem of this entire change over here. Personally, I do agree not adding unlicensed figures to database, right? But the problem here is that myfigurecollection.net's administrators have decided to play moral police in this, right? They are grouping all unlicensed figures as bootlegs, regardless of how you interpret them or regardless of whether that is a fact or not. See, the problem is that number one, they don't allow articles anymore. Not that it affects me that much, because I would rather spend my time filming figures and making high quality videos for you guys to check out the figure in detail, and then you decide for yourselves whether to buy it or not. Licensed or unlicensed, same thing. I prefer to spend my time on making content on my own channel. While this rule may not affect me personally much, I'm still a bit mad because now everyone else are not allowed to talk about these figures, this unlicensed stuff, openly in public in myfigurecollection.net. Is this a restriction to freedom of speech? I don't know, man. To me personally, I don't agree with this freedom of speech thing, because too much freedom can cause problems as well. Freedom of speech does not necessarily mean freedom from consequences. You are responsible for what you say. But when it comes to these figures specifically, right, I think we all know by now that not all unlicensed figures are a product of stolen artwork. Yes, there are many cases out there where the figures are based on stolen artwork. I've even called out one studio for doing so in one of my video titles back then. But still, the point is not all third parties are stealing artwork from elsewhere, right? Some of them, they actually do their own art and they do everything in-house, from the drawing stage, the sketching stage, to modeling, and all the way to the end product. They do it themselves. Now they are being demonized as stealing artwork or being unethical in a way. So basically what we are seeing over here is two possibilities. myfigurecollection.net staff is doing this out of the obligation of being the moral police, or there is external pressure somewhere outside. We don't know. This is my speculation. What if the sponsors of this website, the partners, can be any Japanese website selling genuine figures? They have threatened not to work with myfigurecollection.net anymore unless they get rid of all these things. That is still a possibility, right? We don't know what goes on behind the scenes, and they won't tell us, of course, because all of these discussions and contract or agreements, they are all done behind closed doors. So we don't know, we can only speculate. However, assuming that the Japanese brands are not really messing with you guys, messing with my figure collection stuff, then this is just the myfigurecollection.net administrators playing moral police and pretty much forcing their views on everyone else, and I can't say I agree with that. If we look at the very bottom of this article over here, at the bottom, lastly, this change does not concern bootlegs. Yet, when we go up to this paragraph over here, pictures of said figures will still be allowed within the bootleg category. So they don't think unlicensed figures are bootlegs, yet they classify them as one. See the hypocrisy going around over here. And the best part, you are not allowed to mention the companies who made these figures. Yeah, basically silencing you guys. You guys are not allowed to say anything at all because it can be interpreted as promoting them. And regardless of my figure collection's stance on this matter regarding unlicensed figures, they are not going to stop the increase in popularity of these figures out there, right? Because genuine figure brands refuse to make figures of specific characters. So yeah, the third parties have to take matters in their own hands. I think the best example for now is Honkai Star Rail, where there are no genuine skill figures at all. The main factor that will drive the increase in popularity of unlicensed resin figures is social media. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, even Discord groups, right? More than often, whenever I post a figure of a very popular game or anime character made by a third party, the post on Facebook will just go off the charts in numbers. The likes, the shares, the numbers are insane, you see. And they are outnumbering the genuine figures in terms of popularity. You look at the post I post every day and look at the shares. These third parties, their numbers are at another level. And this shows that, yeah, people are genuinely interested in this stuff, right? Because the genuine figure market is way too slow to react. Blue Archive has been around for a couple of years now, and by now, the third year or so of the game running, they are starting to slowly introduce more figures from Blue Archive when third parties have been doing it for a while. See, they are too slow to react. The second problem I'm seeing over here is related to the title of this video over here. Yeah, artists, independent artists who do it for fun as a hobby. You see, this new rule over here It's going to screw over some artists who are members of MFC. For example, they not only draw artwork for PixSafe and for Twitter and so on, they also do 3D models. They do it and then they sell it, for example, as STL files, stereolithography files, for those of you who want to 3D print your own figure, once again, as a hobby, or they may 3D print it and sell it to you as an unpainted garage kit, so that you can learn painting a figure. Now, these artists who do their own 3D modeling and artwork, they are no longer allowed to post it on myfigurecollection.net because they can be interpreted as promoting unlicensed third-party figures. You see, this is where the problem is. And I find this extremely hypocritical because, yeah, 2D artwork, fan art, they are so well accepted worldwide, no matter where you look. So everyone loves PixSafe, right? There are so many artists out there who draw their own version of their favorite anime or game character. Sometimes they loot them and then they upload it over there and nobody has a problem with it. Moreover, these artists, sometimes they sell their own artwork in anime conventions. Japan even has Comiket for these people to sell their own third-party artwork. They don't have a problem with it as long as they follow a few rules, right? If unlicensed third-party 2D artwork is acceptable, why not the 3D versions, which is figures? You see the double standard going on over here, and this is why I can't agree with this rule MFC came up with. I do agree with the part of not adding it to the database, no problems over there, but to forbid people from writing articles about it, that is going overboard, right? Some people may want to accuse me of profiting from unlicensed stuff because I work with one of the unlicensed figure stores out there as affiliate partners, but at the same time, I also work with genuine figure stores, right? HobbyLink Japan, HLJ, is a partner of this channel, and every week I do figure news fix videos. I always put their content at the frontmost of the video. The genuine stuff always comes first before the unlicensed stuff in the second half because I support genuine licensed stuff. So for me, the reason why I work with both sides is I am catering to the audience, you guys who subscribe to this channel, who watch this channel. If you like something, I'll try to make something that you like to watch. Simple as that. So if people are interested and like third-party stuff, naturally I'm going to make content on that as well. If one day I were to come back making content about figure photography, which I eventually will, and I am talking about some studio lights or maybe some cameras and lenses, I would love to have a partner, an affiliate partner, who can allow me to put some links in the description below on where to buy this camera, where to buy this lens and so on, and then you guys can go and check it out and see if you are interested in them or not. So for every single product that I bring up, whether it is a figure or something else which is somehow related to figures, yeah, I would love to have links in the bottom, and that is what every YouTuber do, right? I believe that every content creator, whether you're an artist or not, the end goal is to earn a bit of money to make a living. Simple as that. And finally, the rest of this article on MFC on unlicensed items featuring the likeness of a real life person. Number 2, and item number 3, manufacturers of bad reputation. Go and read it yourself because they are somehow related to point number 1, and I do not wish to lengthen this video any further. The last question for you guys today, what do you think about myfigurecollection.net's action on banning articles on unlicensed figures, and also not allowing you to mention anything about the studio or the name behind those figures in case you post the pictures? I would love to hear your opinion on this. Are they being a bit too hardline, too drastic with this? And if yes, is it just the admins coming up their own rules because they feel like it, or there is external pressure from outside? And if you were to tell me external pressure from a Japanese company, I wouldn't be too surprised either because, for example, Uma Musume from CY Games. CY Games, they are really strict about this stuff, right? And imagine a staff from CY Games sees a third-party stolen artwork of Uma Musume as picture of the day in MFC, yeah, hell is going to break loose, right? So if you tell me external pressure is involved, that is plausible. And that is all for today's video. If you enjoyed today's discussion, please do give this video a like and subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content. Until then, I'll see you guys again very soon. Until then, goodbye.